Hello everybody and welcome to the Coach Dad Podcast.
Well done, Austin.
So hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode 4 of season 2 of the Coach Dad Podcast with me, your host Ben. Now, the acoustics again may be a little bit different. They may be a little bit more echoey. The reason being is I put a post out online earlier. This is the Friday as I record it. Tomorrow is Saturday, perhaps when you're listening to this or when it comes out. And I put a little post out online, explaining I was probably going to be recording this from the car when my boy Caleb does his training on a Friday evening, but it's just been such a hectic week that I've not found, a little pocket, a little window for an hour and a bit just to go out there and record this. So I'm doing it in my lunch break at work actually, so I can play some Championship Manager in the car later when Caleb's in his training. But no, it's just been a bit hectic really. So I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a week of a bit of a filler episode. So like this week will be my filler episode, half an hour, 45 minutes long, whatever. And then the fortnightly episodes will be topical and they'll be a bit longer and a bit more well researched. And I'll have a topic and I'll go and look deep into an experience of a new grassroots football coach and all that comes with it. But for now, this is going to be sort of a little bit of a filler episode. Lots going on in the personal life, as it is with 3 kids and a wife. This weekend, the wife's got a race, so she's been preparing for that, a 10k race at a place called Sandringham. You may have heard of that. That's where the Queen used to spend a lot of time before she passed away, and obviously now the King is in residence there every now and then. And you hear stories of Will and Kate and that. They're always fairly, is always spotted locally or whatever when you live 20 minutes away from it. So yeah, that's going to take up this weekend. I'm going to go support her in that, which means unfortunately I'm going to miss my oldest boy Caleb's game on the Sunday. I was hoping that it would work out so I could get both in, but just timings again. Sort of Caleb's moved now to Sunday football. He's been playing for Sunday football now for a couple of years, but it just seems now he's stepped up into 11-a-side, I guess because of pitches and stuff like that. It's just that all the games tended to be sort of float around the 10 to 11 kick-off time across the board. And this season so far, he's had a 2 p.m. He's got 12:30 this week, and they've all been sort of later on. So is the way now. It seems to be that Sunday roast, mid of the day, how I like it, is bang in danger. So yeah. Yeah, and just one other thing I quickly want to mention is you heard me talk about it last week about an app that I've been sort of helping develop with a lad, Luke. He posted it online. We've been doing lots of work sort of feeding him back and whatnot. So I'm actually going to give it a go this weekend instead of sub time. It's a cracking app. I'm not a marketing person or nothing like that, but just think once it gets up and running properly, the full potential there is a bit of a game changer really for interaction across the board with parents, and making it fun for managers to track performance and stats, as well as give an output on a foot card or a card that's fun, and you can turn off like the ratings and stuff like that. So yeah, just for football wise out this week, that's pretty much what I've been sort of looking into and doing. Been helping out with that app. That's taken up I take it quite seriously, so I feeding back information and stuff like that. I think there's about 9 or 10 of us who are sort of the main ones who are helping feedback, so he can then code it and then get it right. Looking for like a manager's perspective or a coach's perspective. So yeah, that's pretty much the week so far. Like I say, life is life, kids are kids, there's lots going on, and we squeeze it all in as coaches. We give up our time. Like I say, it's not a topical episode. Actually, there was a big debate online about the time we give up. It resulted around, and I got quite heavily involved in it, both on my personal account and the grassroots, the Coach Dad page that I run on Facebook, and responded under that, guys. And it was about a lady who was sort of bringing up safeguarding issues, that was putting it pretty thick on the coach that her ADHD son had walked off, and he'd not sort of give the due care and attention, but there's always two sides to every story. And my sort of response to that is like, you've got to cut some slack, because every parent and every child has a need, and we try to be attentive to all those needs, and we try to do everything we can, but we're doing it times 10, 12, 15, however many you got in your squad. And we are guilty as coaches. I'm only a year out from being a parent to now being a coach, so we're shaped by these experiences along the way. We've not got a manual when we take over this job. We don't know, that kid all your life. We've known him for an hour a week, maybe two, for a year, and we don't know all the behavioural traits and stuff like that, and we try our best. But yes, I got quite deep into that, so I might do that as my topic episode next week. So how to deal with behavioural issues, and not just as in behavioural issues, but actual issues like that are diagnosed, and how tough it can be for a coach. And it's up to us, perhaps as coaches, to challenge ourselves. So yeah, we'll have a look into that one. But before I go any further, let's have a look at this week's football news.
This week's football news.
So as I always do, I am going to talk about my little team of ballers, Sholdham Youth FC Under-9s Gold. Now, I'm just going to dial back a little bit earlier into the week before, as I like to do, and just have a look at the training. So we had the training session. We had a new little lad come along, and he was obviously new to football, and yeah, lot of work to be done there. But he had a good little session, but the training session itself was up and down. So we struggled a little bit. I'll be honest. Like, just some weeks the kids are on it, and some weeks the kids are not. I'll get into the training session I just did a couple of days ago, actually, just after I talk about the games. But yeah, the training session was a bit up, bit down, a few behavioural things again, and it's just kids, not with any sort of diagnosed stuff, but it's just attitude stuff, which me and Adam are proper trying to, stomp it out, proper cut it out, because it is getting to a stage now where if you're not there to play football, then don't be there. You don't want to. And we sort of tell the kids that, like, we're here to have fun, but we also want to buy into growing and developing, and you need to be listening to that. And me and Adam give the boys every chance, though. We know these little characters inside and out. So, but it's about getting them to dial in now. And I put after last week's game, after the game we just had, that I'm now going to talk about, I put out a lovely little post about how they really, it's become evident how when you move to 7v7, it's very much it's when it starts to be a team game, because 5v5 you can have your one or two little superstars, you can run around on a small pitch and smash the ball in and win you the game and do everything for you. But when you start getting to 7v7, then I think it becomes evident that if you can be a team player, a team game, play a good, be a team player, and you get your team working together, passing, moving, it doesn't matter about little individuals, because you can then, the players can work together and figure it out. So yeah, that's one of my biggest things that I've noticed in the first 3 games of the season is the teamwork. It's a proper team game, so we're trying to get that across to our little ones, and we've sort of emphasised that it's about teamwork, it's about buying into it, and to do that you've got to listen, you've got to be wanting to do it. So yeah, we've gone hard on sort of pushing on that and talking about it at every opportunity. We're a team, it's a team game, there's no blame game in this, because kids of that age can quickly turn and point to somebody else when things are going wrong. So it's about trying to cut that out the game, trying to cut that out their sort of verbiage, and get them thinking about how they can help to improve the team. So we're big on that at the moment. And talking about that, we went into Saturday's game. We had last year's player of the season back, little Harry, and he's come back. Like I say, he's my little role. I don't like to have favourites or anything like that, but when I've got him back, I know I can give him a job to do, and he'll go out there and do it. He's a little bit of a Rolls Royce player for me, and I'm surprised that like people do. Their parents are quite well grounded, and they talk to me and they can see how much the team has improved. But if he went on and moved up a league or two, you wouldn't be surprised, because he'd hit the ground running. But it's great that we're sort of a local team, and he's choosing to stay with us because he's a fantastic little player. I also had little lad back, Arthur. He'd been missing as well. He's actually playing up for me, but again, another great little player. So much potential. If you could just, you do notice a big difference between kids that are the age for the group, under nines and the ones that are below, there's a little bit of difference I find in what I've that's just personally me, but I can see a little bit of difference in sort of behavioural stuff. And yeah, it's just about bringing him around to that and just giving him the time to develop both mentally and but is physically imposing in the game. He's great, and he's just got to work out. He throws himself into challenges and stuff like that. But again, a great little player. And if you could just get like I've just been talking about, getting the little boys to buy into the team ethos and listening and doing what they're asked, it'll only help and benefit them. So yeah, we had him back, but we were missing Fred. He's a bit of a tough tackling defender. He was away, and I was also missing James, who's I've talked about before. He was he's new this season for the league games. He joined us in the last season of training, and he won man of the match a couple of weeks ago. He's been absolutely outstanding. I'll be honest, like the way he's come on, I don't think I've coached any of the boys. I've seen steady progress. But his rapid development, like from just in his confidence, he's got physical attributes. So he's sporty, he can run, he's fast, and it's just he didn't have the ball skills. He's not from a footballing family, and he just wants to play football. But he listens and he does everything he's asked, and he's just come on leaps and bounds. So again, note to other coaches out there: if you have these little boys and these little girls, and just look out for the attributes that they do have and build on what they don't, and you get yourself a good player. And I have with him and another little lad, Dior, as well. But I had James and James missing. His mum was actually running, I don't know what it's in the water where we live, but his mum was actually running a marathon, so a coastal marathon. So he was away supporting her. So we went into the game against Outwell, and we'd played them, as I've spoken about, in a pre-season game about a month or so ago, and lost 3-2 in a very, very tight game. We did have one or two players from the other Shoulden team, the team we play a couple of levels up, and they come and help us out that day. So we sort of had a couple of their players. So it was nice to go into this game and see how we were going to do by ourselves. It gives us a sort of a nice measure stick where we're at. In the previous couple of games, like I said, we'd lost to Leverington double figures. We then brought that down by half, but we didn't score a goal against Docking only a week or so ago. And then this game at the weekend. So we went into it off the back of trying to restructure training, getting all the boys to buy into, wanting to play, wanting it to be a team game, wanting it to be an effort. And like I said last time, challenging them, do they want to win? So, you don't know what sort of reaction you're going to get. And we went out. And yeah, well, you could have. It's a tale of two halves, really. So the reaction we got immediately was not great. So within a minute and a half, I put all this in the app. That's on sub time. A minute and a half, we went 1-0 down. Bit of a slow start and a bit of a defensive mix up, and a lot of looking around, and and it could have been, oh no, here we go. And then about 4 minutes into the game, it was adjudged that one of our players was handled inside the box, and I don't like to challenge referees, and I didn't really challenge it at the time. Adam, who's the assistant, he did have a few words to say about it, but nothing untoward or anything like that. He just sort of asked the question, but it wasn't a handball. It hit the sort of under the torso, below the arm, and he gave a penalty, and Outwell dispatched that. So we were already a couple down within 4 minutes. And again, but from here there was a sustained period where we then found our feet, and I think over the balance of the course of the next half an hour we were the better team. And there was a massive period in there, like half an hour, where there was no goals and it was just end-to-end stuff. The battle was there to be won. We had some outstanding performances, and it's in games like this where you trying to get the boys to buy into the team ethos. So when the quarters and the halves came round, we sat them down and, can I play here, can I play that? We said, look, we've got to forget about this now, where we all want to play where we want to play, and we'll try to get everybody in a position. But for instance, my parents' player of the season, top goal scorer last year, Bill, because he's such an all-round good footballer, he can tackle, he can run after the ball, pass, naturally he wants to go and score all the goals. But I asked him to do a job for me, which was, can he play at the back and can he play with Arthur? And because we're chasing the game, can they between them, take it in turns when we've got the ball to go forward, but make sure they come back. And they worked superb at that. And I could see them communicating, I'll stay up, I'll go this time, you stay back. So it's getting the boys to communicate amongst themselves and manage the game for themselves within, out on the pitch, not us shouting across, you stay back, you get them to do it for themselves, get them thinking about it. And it was really noticeable, the core of the team we had was really strong. So we were trying to keep a centre midfield, one of our more, players who are a bit more progressed, and one at the back at least with one lower ability or not up to the ability of some of the other players, because I'm certain now that I've got a starting 7 that I think that would match probably anybody in our league. Now, I don't want to say like we're world beaters. Remember, we are in the bottom league of a 3 or 4 league system. So yeah, my hope is that we can match them teams. So I'm not saying, but I'm still not about that. Like I say, we kept the core of the team strong, the centre backs or the 2 defenders, or at least one of them, and the centre midfielder and the striker, try to keep them as strong as possible. But now we've got Stellan, he was in goal, so again, made some fantastic saves. Then we got to about 10 minutes to go, and they grabbed another one to pull even further out in front, and then we just had this late onslaught. Bill had a kick in as it was, so he took a touch and it was halfway inside their half, and he just absolutely rocketed it in the top corner of from about 30 yards. Absolutely amazing hit. And there was about 7 minutes to play, and me and Adam, we just went, said, boys, one stay back, the rest just get the ball, look up, look for your teammate and go forward. And they just went hell for leather, and we threw everything at them. The little outward goalkeeper made a tremendous save, or a string of tremendous saves. I went over and congratulated him at the end because he was fantastic for them. Our goalkeeper, I let him have, like I say, I've talked about, he goes in goal for majority, but if he wants to come out at the end and play up front or whatever, then fair enough, that's a sacrifice. So put him up top. He hit the post. We just couldn't get the ball over the line. So it was a really tight game. We lost by a couple, but absolutely the progression from 2 weeks ago to now over the course of 3 games has just been nothing short of brilliant, really. And we look like a team. It's the first time where we've looked to pass the ball. Harry's dad, who the player of the season last year, his dad said first time he's seen us this season, because he was away all summer playing cricket, so he didn't see any of the end of the season 7-on-7 games or any of the pre-season games. First time he's seen him, said just it's light and day from the end of last season to this season. And it takes someone like that just to, because when you're in it, and you you're looking at the little things and the little progression all the time. But when it takes someone, you take them out and they've not seen them play for a block of 4 or 5 months, and then they come back and watch them play, and he said that it was just night and day. Like, they were looking to pass the ball, just different team they looked like. So yeah, we had some really impressive performances out there. Little lad Dior, he's come on so much as well. Again, he joined us Christmas last year, so he played sort of half a season, but he was very new and raw to football, and he's just on it. He's just so fast and with it, and he can read the game. And he's just got to let his feet catch up, because he's sort of busy with his feet. He always looks like he's dancing to me across the pitch, but he was fantastic. But yeah, I couldn't fault any of them. Great performance, really, from everybody. Man of the match I gave it to Bill, because, like I said, I asked him to do jobs that he's not normally used to doing, because what it is, he doesn't realise how good he is as an all-round player, and I'm utilising him as that. And then I could stick him up front and wait for the ball to come to him every now and then smash in a couple of goals, but then it not help us at the other end. But it's getting him to realise his strength. He's an all-round player, and he's so good at the back, so good in midfield, and he's great when it comes to scoring goals. So he got off the mark. He got our first goal of the season as a team, so that's good news for the team. I challenged them before the game. I said, what haven't we done this year? Score a goal. So we tick that off. That's gone. We've done. We'll look on to the next sort of box we want to tick off. So yeah, that was a fantastic game. Parents player went to Arthur, his first game back as well. Could have gone to him, Harry, could have gone to anybody really. They all did so well as a unit, as a team, as a collective, and it's nice. And I think we're proper building towards something as a unit now. We actually look like I can actually see some light at the end of the tunnel, perhaps where 2-3 weeks ago when we had 7 or 8 at the start of the season, and I was missing 2 or 3 of my stronger players. I lost a strong player. It was a bit doom and gloom, but no, it all feels like it's all coming good now. So here's Austin's thoughts on his performance. Right, so here we are. We just arrived home. A negative result today, but the game was a really close game, and we it was a very tight game, and we only just sort of lost it. But dubious decision. But Austin, what do you reckon about the game today, my man?
Pretty good.
Yeah, good all round, wasn't it? What do you reckon to performance today?
I'm not sure about that.
No, you got told off by the referee again. What for?
For the other player pinching me.
Pinching you. Dark arts of the game, boy. You got to learn the dark arts, okay? All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you get any much chance to score any goals today?
No, I did have a few chances.
Yeah. Okay. But it did well, didn't you, in the end? Did you have a good party? Yeah? What did you get there? Oh, you're not talking. And what do you reckon, Caleb? How do you think they did today?
I think they're done alright, to be fair.
Dubious penalty, wasn't it? Never a penalty. What did you reckon to the ref today?
I'm a better ref than him.
No, he's a bit sort of... I would go into it, but yeah, he did right. But, Austin, performance maybe a little bit better next week, yeah? Yeah? Alright, no worries, did well. So that was Austin's thoughts on his performance. Didn't really get much out of him, to be fair. Like, he almost got sent off again, like, for pinching. You've got talent. Really got to get him to learn the dark arts of the game. The problem is he's too nice for his own good sometimes, and but he does rear up a little bit if he gets challenged or pushed, and he does it back instead of just sort of being clever with it. But that's all part of growing up in it. You've got to learn the dark arts. You've got to learn a way to negotiate, giving it back. But perhaps out of sight, out of mind, but we don't play that way anyway. But also, you heard my little girl gate crash the interview there. What happened was we rocked up at home just as my wife rocked up as well, and a little girl Jocelyn had been to a birthday party, so she was humming and dancing around the car, trying to get some words out of her, but couldn't get much out of her. And she's actually going to be joining me this week, this Saturday, tomorrow as it is, or today if you're listening to it. Going to be helping me because the wife has got a health and safety course, is it? I'm not sure. First aid course. She's got a first aid course for a new job, and it's on a Saturday, 9 till 4. She is not happy with it. But what that means for me is I get the joys of taking the little girl along to football with me, which sometimes is hard work, but because she's a little bit more grown up now, I've done it a few times. She's going to help me, and I told her she's going to help me cheer the boys on, so she hopes she'll be good as goal for me. She loves football, and she's always asking to come. But being a sort of lone manager last season, it was always tough if I had to bring her along. The difference is this time is I've got Adam now joint coach with me, but unfortunately he's away on a pre-booked thing. But so luckily it's an away game, so I've only got to turn up with a bag of balls, and away we go. So yeah, she's going to be with me this weekend. But yeah, that was Austin's thought on his performance. Not really much to go out there. He didn't really have much of a sniff, to be fair. Like I say, nearly got sent off again. I don't know what it is about Outwell and him, and it just don't go very well. But yeah, that was our performance. I will just rock on to our training that we had 2 nights ago on Wednesday. So the new lad who came that I talked about last week, he didn't come this week, but I'm not overly worried about it. I've got another little lad training with me as well from a few weeks ago, and he's still training along, and it's going to take me a while to get up to speed, but I'm now, with everyone back playing, I've got everyone confirmed for this game for tomorrow, for Saturday. I've got all 11, so I think that's the good that's a good balance. That is, I've got that's the right amount, that is. But yeah, just on the training, me and Adam it was a blinding training session, and then we've done some fun fitness stuff. We did a little bit of passing, and we did some sort of getting your head up and passing, as well as some dribbling stuff. Make it a funner, so of course we tried to make it a little bit of fun this week, and then we went into a nice game, and the game was brilliant. We had slightly odd numbers. I think we had 6 and 5. But some of the passing on show was fantastic, and there was an actual movement in there where we moved the ball from side to side, from the back across, went forward and scored a goal with 5 or 6 passes, and it's getting them to just see that's how you do it, and they were sort of well made up, and we made them feel like kings for doing that. And so we go into tomorrow's game this weekend's game against Terrington, we go into it full of hope. I said to the parents, I don't know, got a funny feeling this could be the one, but then I have that every weekend, so yeah, but this, fingers crossed, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? So hopefully next week, you never know, could have something good to be reporting on, and I can end the podcast then. But no, and then over at Caleb, I went and watched him train on the Friday last week. Again, pretty intensive stuff at that age, under 13s. It's all still doing quite a bit of fitness stuff as well, and doing a little bit of ball work, because that's what it is. That I think it's, as you get older, the fitter you are, the better you are as a team. So the stronger you become as a unit. So a lot of sort of fitness-based stuff going on. Went to watch him, on the Sunday. They were playing, it was a top of the table clash, and it's only been 2 games, but both teams had won their game, and they were sitting at the top of the pile. And the game kicked off, and it was really tight early on. But Watlington, his team, were just shading it, and they were looking to create a little bit more. They were a little bit more useful with the ball. They had the ball, and Caleb in midfield and the other midfielder, Riley I think it was, or Aidan, I always get mixed up, were looking to play sort of diagonal balls in behind on the diagonal for the wingers to then get in and cut across, and they created a few chances and they just couldn't get it to go in. And then out of nowhere at the other end, a penalty was given, and again it was a wrong decision. I don't like to get onto refs. This was actually a grown-up, an adult ref. So, but it looked like, I guess it could have looked like he had his handball. He had his arm up, but it hit him in the head. It was a header. So they got given a penalty against, and Dersingham scored it, went 1-0 up, and then Watlington then went after him again. They were probing. They were trying, to create something, and then they had a corner. And as Caleb will explain in a minute, it's either Aidan or Riley took the corner, and then the other one put it in, hit it on the volley or on the bounce on the volley. First time contact, smashing the corner, 1-1. I really thought they'd kick on like the week before when they played the Wootons, where they went behind and then just, got so far out in front. And I thought it was going to be a repeat of that. But credit to Dersingham, they sort of dug in, and they were resolute, don't get me wrong. But Watlington were the team who were probing more and looking to play football. And then it got to half time, and then it sort of started to fizzle a little bit for Watlington, and it just, the bite weren't there, the snap weren't there. It then turned into a little bit of you go long, we go long. The battle in the midfield was being bypassed by long balls. It just needed someone to put a foot on the ball. Caleb played the majority of the game. I think he came off with about 3 minutes to go. But again, with about 10 minutes to go, another dubious handball. Sort of, something was kicked. A ball was kicked or crossed in, and a player was running back, and in there as they were running with their stride, it hit strike their hand, and the ref gave another penalty. Dersingham converted that 2-1. So a couple of penalties against, and they sort of see out the game in the end. Watlington did create a lot of chances. They put the pressure on, but they just couldn't convert. And the game sort of slowly fizzled out. And unfortunately, they lost 2-1. The first defeat in a while. They've been pretty red hot at the end of last season, pre-season, and then start of this season. But again, it's just one of them ones that the decisions were given. Decisions didn't go for them. But if you're not scoring goals anyway, you've got to put yourself in that position. I told him just what I said to Kelly as soon as he came off. I said, you did well today. I just felt that you lost your way as a team. You didn't sort of click today. Could have put in a bit more. You could always say you can do a bit more, but it just felt it needed someone in there to put their foot on the ball and really dictate the game. And me telling him that after, I'm hoping that sort of logs in his brain. But yeah, it's just one of the things. Then the managers actually put much the similar. Write that one off. Just didn't go for us today. So yeah, that's what it was really. It's sort of a weekend of penalty decisions that, for me, 2 out of the 3 were not penalties. One could gone, all for handball. One definitely, it's all interpretation, but 2 were not actually handball. So yeah, it seems like as a household we suffered with penalties this weekend. But yeah, here's Caleb's thought on his game. Right, we've just finished Caleb's game. Fortunately, went down 2-1. What do you reckon to the performance today, boy?
Not great.
What do you reckon to the game overall?
Not great.
Why?
Just kept giving the ball away all the time.
I think in the first half, you as a team played really well. You got the ball down. You was looking to get the ball sort of in and behind and thread balls. But in the second half, it just turned into a bit of a long ball game. But a little bit of context to the game. How did the first goal? They went 1-0 up. How did that come about?
It was a penalty. Well, yeah, it hit the player's head, but they assumed it was a handball.
Ref gave a penalty for it, didn't he? And they converted that. And then not long after, Riley scored.
Yeah,
Was it Riley?
I don't know.
Corner was whipped in and player hit it on the volley, on the bounce, and went in.
No, Riley took the corner.
Riley took the corner, and then it made it 1-1, and then
Aiden scored.
Aiden scored. That took us to half time. It was quite a tight game. Dersingham were not too bad a team really. They just didn't recreate anything, and then all the chances came in the second half for Wattington, and just couldn't stick them away, could you? I think Evie put one just wide. Fiomi missed an open goal. I think you had an odd shot here and there. But and then, unfortunately, sort of 10-15 minutes to go, another handball in the box and another penalty for Dersingham to make it 2-1. So two penalties. It's been a weekend of penalties in our household, hasn't it? Because we had one dodgily given yesterday as well. So, but yeah, you played most of the game, didn't you? Come off with a couple of minutes to go just to give a lad a run out. But yeah, what do you reckon? Got some headers out today, didn't you? Yeah. Anything else to say about your performance today?
Not really, no.
No. How do you feel about it? What do you reckon next week? Gonna step up the levels next week? That's top table clash today. They were both. I know it's only 2 games, but they'd both played 1-2. I think Dersingham were top on goal difference. So I think on another day you'd have put 4 or 5 past them, wouldn't you? But never mind. Go again next week. Yeah. So as you just heard there, much like what I was saying just before, actually, just go again next week. It is what it is. Take your chances. You've got to take your chances when you come, and then 2 penalties don't really matter. He's obviously a little bit downbeat there on himself, but yeah, they'll go again this week. Fortunately, like I say, I can't watch him play this week, but I'm hoping to hear good things and he put in a performance, hopefully, and maybe even break his duck of scoring a goal in a competitive game. But just got to keep going, ain't you, at that age, and it's ultra competitive. And I keep telling him about that, and he's sort of going on to me about his fitness and stuff like that. And I said, you just got to get out there and just, he's an active lad. He's just got to keep going, keep pushing, and that's the only way you get better in it. Like, you got to keep challenging yourself to push on and get better. And I never sort of harsh on him or anything like that. He's always down on himself, so you've just got to bring him around, saying, look, you've done all you could do. You write them games off. You move on to the next time. Learn. What did you learn from that game? Like you said, you heard him say his passing. He could have gave the ball away too much, which is spot on. That's what you want. So I told him, just work on it. Just work on it. Repetition. Keep working on it. Try it in training. Try it in this. Try it in that. Eventually, that will come good for you. So yeah, not a great weekend for a couple of losses in the household, but we do it all again next weekend. So yeah, he has got a game. His game is away at Clench Wharton. So yeah, and my game is at Terrington. Now, if you don't know the local area, they're literally villages that are joined, and they're about a minute apart. So yeah, Saturday and Sunday he's going to be playing. On the Sunday, I think he's got about 1 o'clock kickoff or 12:30, I think it is, against Terrington. Again, we didn't come across them last season, so I think they must have been in the league below. So hopefully, the league. I had a look at the league table. I think there's 14 teams in it at the minute, and yeah, it's fairly well balanced. There's a few lopsided results, but you're always going to get that with such a big league. But yeah, I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping his team can, push on for a title challenge. They've looked fairly well. They looked fairly ruthless for the most part for the teams they played against. Even in pre-season, teams they struggled against last year, they've done well against and put lots of goals past. So they really did look good at the start of the season, and hope for the result that they lost 2-1 against Dersingham hasn't knocked their confidence. It's a long game. I keep telling them that you can get them back away, get them points. They'll drop points elsewhere. I'm certain of that, and you've just got to keep on doing what you were doing. The coach Wayne will keep pushing them. Keep their heads up, keep playing football, because that's what it is. When they play football, they play some really good football, and that's sort of bearing in mind that they only train hour and a half, hour and a quarter hour and 3/4. I can't remember what it is. Hour and a quarter each week. So yeah, they do all right for what the small time us grassroots teams tend to have together. So as a unit, when they play, they do well, and they're trained well. So yeah, unlucky, but hopefully back to positive winning ways next week. But it would be nice to have a double weekend of wins in our household, and is it going to be this weekend? Let's hope. So yeah, even though I said it was going to be a short and sweet episode, that one actually did run on to sort of half an hour or so of me running on. But yeah, hopefully someone takes something out of these episodes and keeps listening. I'm not boring you to death. I haven't got any shout outs again or anything lined up. I've been so ill prepared for this. Next week will be a proper episode. I'm going to go topical, going to do my research. I'm going to get all my shout outs ready. So yeah, like I say, I'll probably just do a filler episode in between. But yeah, just want to sort of thanks everybody again for sort of tuning in and listening. I've had quite a lot of interaction online in the Facebook page and the TikTok and followers and stuff like that. Going through a little bit of a brand change at the minute. I'm thinking about sponsoring my own football team. I don't know is that a good idea? Putting my own sort of face on my own logo for this podcast on our own football shirts. I think that's pretty cool. Might do that. But yeah, no worries. Thanks for listening. I've been Ben, and this has been the Coach Dad Podcast. I'll see you again.